Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Stahelski's John Wick from 2014. As yes, we are back once again and ready to finally talk about, in this video, the John Wick films on the channel. So yes, finally we are here, and I was planning on doing reviews of these originally on the channel, at least the first two, and never got around to it. But yes, here we finally are to talk about the films. Now a trilogy. So yes, it'll be very fun to do. Of course, there will be a spoiler warning for this film. If you haven't seen John Wick, I recommend seeing it and then come back to this video, and you can rest easy after that and not be given potential plot points to you before you've seen the film, of course. So yes, with all that said, as always, let's dig in. And yeah, it's a film, of course. We'll start by saying I've seen John Wick quite a few times now, and yeah, I've seen the third one twice, and the second one and the first 4 times now each. So yeah, very rewatchable film. That's the thing about this. Thinking on that instantly, a rewatchable film. It's fun. It's this comedic film. So well edited, and this epic film as well in the action and the character of John Wick himself. And we'll get to that. But yes, a film that I saw first of all in 2017. I'd heard about these films, the first and the second, and obviously the second at that point had just come out, and I was kind of hearing all these things about it, and yeah, it was really hyped to see them. And obviously Keanu Reeves, massive fan of this actor, and this being kind of a comeback for him as well. And yeah, just as an action star, once again, that's the thing. He was just such a great action star, of course. The Matrix, etc. And yeah, seeing these films really is a treat, and not just being great action films, at least in my opinion, but really love the lore of this franchise, and the world building in this. And in this film here, the first one, it's more light in that sense, more subtle, and I guess more hints, suggestions. Things will come later on, especially in John Wick 2, Chapter 2. That's the one that really blows up the universe in that sense, and once again in 3 as well, which we'll get to. But yes, the first John Wick film is very simple, you could say, but I think that's one of the great things about it. It's very simple to the point, but with more, as I say, hints, things that kind of going on in the background, and this being bigger than it actually is, I guess. And it's very much a basic setup. We have John Wick, of course, played by Keanu Reeves. In such a great role for him, of course, and legendary character. We have so many different hints of this character, kind of exposition, but it's not too much in this film, and we get more, mystery and kind of suggestions, at this character in his past. Essentially, we know that John Wick is an ex-hitman, and he comes out of retirement, you could say, because his puppy is brutally killed, in this really just shocking, and sad, sequence. Of course, very early on, as we know, he gets this puppy though, from his recently, deceased wife. So kind of really sad there. That does get killed. That puppy. Daisy it is, and yes, just we have, of course, Alfie Allen playing this gangster. He of course comes to the house because John Wick refuses to kind of give him the car, to sell them the car, and he comes, he breaks into his home, and they beat him up, of course, and yeah, kill the puppy, and of course that sparks this kind of rampage, you could say, of John Wick, kind of going off and getting revenge, on this Russian mafia, and we learn fairly early on that he is Alfie Allen, the character he plays, is the son of this kind of lead mafia figure, the Russian mafia, and of course it's played by Nyqvist, and yeah, just he is really fun in this film, I must say, this actor, and just I think the way in which it's a really great way in which it basically leads, Alfie Allen leads to us to this kind of bigger thing that's going on, and even more of a menacing villain, really, because Alfie Allen's character is kind of a bit pathetic in the way he's played, obviously intentional, and then we have more of a kind of menacing presence, and at the same time kind of getting more and more information about John Wick, and he may be going off against this set of gangsters, but they are no match for him, and this kind of solo effort, of course, with the aid of a few different characters, of course, but yes, going in and just taking revenge on them, and not stopping until he is satisfied in that sense, and it's a non-stop, just kind of thrill ride from start to finish. The action in this film, it's truly stunning. Obviously, the choreography, the editing in this film, I just think what a film this is, and the way in which the action, it's very instantly, kind of kinetic, visceral, and you feel the punches, but it's kind of still a dance in that sense, the choreography, and as well, we have especially later on, the kind of moment to moment, the hand to hand kind of feeling, you get, but also grander, kind of more operatic, you could say, sequences. For example, in the nightclub later on in the film, kind of in the middle portion of the film, etc. And later on as well in the final act, kind of really, so well balanced. I feel the kind of small scale, for example, hand-to-hand scenes, and these massive set pieces, of gunplay, and the gunplay itself, it's just stunning, and I think, as I say, the way it's put together, the editing here, truly is something else, and I think even more so as we go through this series. But this film in itself is just such a kind of wonderful film in its flow. We kind of get different pieces, as I say, of the puzzle, but also just in itself constantly for me engaging, and it's just fun. The comedy works so well in this. The villains in this film, Michael Nyqvist, is playing this character, in a tongue-in-cheek way. He is menacing at times, but it is really funny as well. And I love just moments, for example, the text comes up, the kind of dialogue. That comes up, of course, a stylized way in which it's done, like an anime, of course. This is very interesting to see, what this series kind of takes from, there's Western films in there, there's anime, and, different, of course, martial arts films, and, it's just a wonderful blend, while also being its own thing, instantly kind of iconic, this film. I saw it and I thought, that was so much fun, that was really, really, cool, and, I think on the second watch was when I really thought, this is such a great film, and I think then seeing after this though the second film, I was just blown away by that, and seeing in 2022 finally seeing the third film, once again loved it. So it's a real treat to have this kind of franchise that I can now look forward to, this action franchise that I can kind of I can say it's a safe one as well to go with, and I kind of more or less know I'm going to get some great set pieces, but also kind of ever furthering the kind of and deepening the kind of mythology. That's one of the great things, as I say, about this franchise, is the mythology, the kind of the way in which we have this kind of whole organisation, and as well I love, speaking on that, the Continental being introduced in this film, as we know, this hotel, if you like, where all these assassins kind of go, and they kind of it's their respite, it's their hub, if you will, but you can't actually, technically, you're not allowed to carry out business, so no hits in this location, and I just love the way in which that's portrayed, and just the supporting characters as well. I love the casting here. Ian McShane, of course, as Winston, and Lance Reddick as well. Great actor. Really big on from The Wire as well. I love that show, and he's in this film, of course, as Sharon, and it's great to see these characters, of course, recurring throughout the series. But just the way they're set up here, it's one of those franchises where the casting of all the supporting characters as well, just perfect, top notch, and just these kind of charming, subtle characters, of course, and Ian McShane being Winston, basically the manager of, the owner of this hotel, the Continental, and I love his role, and just the way in which we have this tone, this kind of quite disturbing and atmospheric tone to this, but again, it is comedic throughout, and even for example, Ian McShane's character Winston, is quite hilarious, going into this series, and I love, as I say, this as kind of an action film, and also just as this world building, this real mythic film, and I get behind all the lore, and I'm just wanting more and more, and of course this is a very short film, really, and it's to the point, and the final act basically sees John Wick, getting revenge, and of course, then, he basically, in the end, we have this other dog that he goes off with, and that is really essentially the end of the film, and you could say it's very basic in that sense, but I think it's very effective in what it's doing, and of course, we've gone on this journey, and in the end, John Wick has once again got, a dog, and the pet dog, and, it goes off with him, and I will say as well, it's a real effective way in which we have the hook in the first act, on that, the way where John Wick is this real wounded character, and we see a lot of vulnerability to him, and his wife, has recently, as I say, passed in this film, of course. And we see, Willem Dafoe as well, speaking to him, and stuff at the funeral. But yes, just seeing, this kind of stuff, and learning a little bit about, John Wick, and then of course he gets this puppy, and it's this kind of joyous, charming set of sequences. But it's really short-lived, and it's something that of course you instantly relate to. This character, getting revenge, in this way of this pet being killed, and it really is quite brutal, but it's an effective way in which John Wick kind of goes on this revenge tale, and again, in the end, by the end of the film, we've kind of gotten more than we I guess, at least when I first, was watching this film, I wasn't thinking it was going to be, this kind of all this going on, as well as this simple revenge film. So it's a very layered film in that sense, and again, in itself, though, it's quite simple in comparison to, for example, John Wick 2 and what's going on with the story. But yes, love the villains for the most part. I loved, all three acts of the film, the way it builds, the way it flows into the next, and the supporting characters. As I say, they're charming, they're likeable, and just so interesting, of course. And the Continental itself is such a great, kind of way in which it's set up, and all the characters surrounding this, and the mythology, the backstory to John Wick. As I say, by the end of this film, we don't know too much, but it's enough to kind of keep us, invested and satisfied for now. And then, in the second film, it really, as I've said, kind of blows up in that sense, the mythology and all this, and it's going to be great to kind of talk about those films. But yes, the first John Wick film is so great. There are some things for me, I guess, if I'm thinking it could be a bit better, but for the most part, for what this is trying to be, it's just so effective. A truly great action film, thriller, of course, and the more I watch this, the more I love it, even though I do much prefer, for example, the next film, I think, that's even better than this for me. I think the first John Wick film, thinking on this, as its own kind of thing, as a standalone film, as the first film in the series, I do truly love this film. Just as I say, all the elements here, the action, the kind of the way this is edited, the flow of it, just the thriller of the aspects of this, and the drama as well, for the most part. Really, really effective film, and I think, just love watching this film. Seen it 4 times now. Of course, if you haven't seen these films, I truly recommend giving them a go. And I was very much when I first saw them quite hyped to see them, but it really kind of it was one of those that exceeded my expectations. And once again, Keanu Reeves in this film is so great. It's one of those. I guess one of those films where he's born to play this role, just like The Matrix, of course, Neo, and I love Keanu Reeves, and it's just epic that we have these films, and just as an action star, and as well just a likable kind of relatable actor you can get behind as well, and I think it's just a perfect fit for this character, and for the most part the performances they could a couple of background characters that it could have been a bit better, but for the most part the acting in this is just so great, it's so spot on, and the casting is essential. The script, is so strong as well, and it's just this real, quick, I guess, to the point script with a lot of, as I say, underlying, tension there, and intrigue as well. So it's a mystery in that sense as well, and love this film. Truly, truly love this one. And as for my rating, I guess it's kind of increased, as I say, the more I've watched it, and the more I've kind of seen this and kind of realised how much I love it. I've given it more of a higher score, I guess, but it's always really been a great rating for me personally. And yes, my final score after my recent a few months ago rewatch of this film is a 94%. So yes, you may say that's very, very high, and I do agree, but yes, the first John Wick film I truly love, and it's just an epic film. It has so much intrigue. I'm so invested in this kind of universe, and we have great action set pieces throughout, the hand-to-hand combat, the gunplay, and the car chases, and these big set pieces, throughout the film, just very nicely kind of placed, not too much, and we have a lovely balance, I guess, between the drama, the thriller aspects, and the action itself, and it's just a seamless flow as well in between these elements, you could say as well. So yes, the first John Wick film, I do love so much, and it doesn't really do too much wrong for me. There's a couple of things here and there that could have been better. That's why it's not kind of higher. But in terms of flaws, I don't really have too much with this personally. It's just a film that does what it sets out to do, and actually more than that, it's quite ambitious. Really, I guess with its what it's setting up, and that only kind of becomes clear really when you see the next films really in the franchise, and then going back to this, I kind of appreciated it even more. So it's very, very interesting, and yeah, absolutely love this film. Of course, Keanu Reeves is so great in this film. Ian McShane, Lance Reddick, the entire cast in this really is just so much fun as well. The interactions and just all these different moments, of course, and it's very satisfying as well as kind of leaving some things kind of left for the sequels. That's one of the great things about this film. So yes, that's it for now. Absolutely love this film. What do you think of this? What's your thoughts on this film, of course? And if you want to, you can kind of leave brief thoughts on the next films and the overall, your experience with the franchise. And next up in this series, of course, is John Wick Chapter 2. So, cannot wait for that, to kind of talk about that film. That is, as I say, even better for me personally than this film. And, that is just, wow. I saw these films originally, quite soon after one another. And I was just kind of the 1-2 punch there of, these two films. And then only recently, yes, last year, as I say, I'm seeing the third film. It was quite a treat as well. So, yes, cannot wait to talk about these films and the eventual sequels as well that are coming out, the further ones in the series. So yes, as I say, I love this film. It'd be great to hear your thoughts. It'd be a pleasure to talk about this film. And yes, as always, take care and thanks for watching.